Hey guys, it's Fooberduge, and today I'm going to do a quick review, a throwback review actually, on G1 Ultra Magnus. Now, before I do anything, I want to put this out here that G1 Ultra Magnus is one of my favorite G1 toys. So if I get a little bit excited, please bear with me, but, I don't know. G1 Ultra Magnus is just such a good toy. And, if you have a G1 collection, this guy you gotta have. And even if you don't have a G1 collection, you should really get this thing. It's really cool. But, I'm just gonna jump right into things. Right now you can see he's in his cab slash trailer mode. Relatively big, not too terribly big. Right off the bat, we're just gonna do some size comparisons with G1 Hot Rod, just to get a size, or an idea of the size of this thing. So, there's that. Here he is with my original G1 Prowl. They actually look pretty good together, I have to say. Hot Rod doesn't really matter because he's not a real car. And here he is with G1 Ratchet, and that works as well. But G1 Ratchet and G1 Prowl look pretty good together anyway. So, yeah, his cab mode is pretty cool. I actually really like the way this thing looks. It looks really like armor, like, I don't know, like military-esque. Because he was a soldier, so yeah, he's part of the military, or the Autobot military. It does have rubber tires, which is very nice. It does roll. And, you got a nice Autobot logo there, courtesy of Repro Labels. And, yeah. This thing's really cool. And, what you can do in the back here, actually, is you can fold these down. I don't know how well you can see that, because this thing's pretty long. I'll just put it right there. So you can put these down. They were up. Just put them down like that. And then you go in, and there's a white tab here. You just push that in, and same here. I don't know if you can see it, but it pushes it out, and this comes down, and so then you can drive a car up there, kind of like a ramp. And it doesn't really quite touch the ground. What I like to do is kind of bend it at the elbow, and it just kind of, yeah, stays flush against the bottom of the cab. So we're going to take G1 Ratchet, and he rolls right on up to right there. And there's kind of little nubs up here that kind of hold his tires into place, if you can see that. And then we'll take G1 Prowl, and he can go up there as well. And he doesn't really have any buffers, so I'm just going to have to lift this whole thing up. Put these tabs back in. And, yeah, he can hold them, which I think is really cool. Kind of like, yeah, he's a car carrier, so you can do that. Now, just, you can put them on here any way you really want to. They kind of lean down inwards like that, but it's not that big of a deal. So that's actually really cool. That was one of the coolest things about this toy back in the 80s, that it did this. It held other cars, and actually I'm just going to put Hot Rod down here. He can't quite fit, but I'll make him fit. There. And you can fit more people down there. Unfortunately, I don't have any other G1 toys, or G1 car toys at least. So coming in with Knockout here, since I don't have any G1 toys, I'm just going to use him. You can put him in here, and he can go all the way up there, and there's still room for one more right there. So that's really cool. So taking these guys off. Pretty neat. So I'm just going to fold these back up. So yeah, that's pretty much all you can do with the cab mode, or the trailer. So you can actually take this trailer off, and you can come to the separate cab, which is just a straight up repaint of the G1 Optimus Prime cab. It's just all white, so yeah, nothing really too fancy. Really cool looking. I really do like it. Of course, it's the same as the G1 Optimus Prime. So I'm just going to transform this thing real quick. You all know how it goes. You flip the leg down, flip this leg down, flip down his feet, disconnect the arms, pull them out, flip up his head, and give him his fists. Yeah. So yeah, he's just a white version of Optimus Prime. Looks like he's been in the Antarctic for too long. But yeah, just a straight up repaint. Articulation. His arm. Oh, that's loose. Whatever. You can rotate his shoulder 360 degrees due to transformation. It can go in, and so you can kind of hold it out like that. He does bend at the elbow, and then he also rotates at the elbow, and that's all due to transformation. I suppose you could say his wrist swivel. They're already plugged in, so yeah, they swivel. But nothing at the head except for maybe doing that, but that looks kind of weird because of this big flat bit right there. Due to transformation, he bends only backwards at the thigh. He also bends at the knee, and that's not due to transformation. I think that's the only piece of articulation not due to transformation. Anyway, it does bend at the knee, but it can't bend forwards, which is actually good because that would hurt. And these, you can wiggle his toes. So yeah, very, very good articulation for the time, actually. For G1 anyway, because back then they didn't worry about articulation. They just worried about making toys. So, setting him off here, we have a bunch of stuff that he comes with. A bunch of pieces. So, you got his head here, and actually, when I got this, I made it a point to get the silver painted head, because there was a version where the head was just all blue, like this color, just all blue, and I thought that was extremely ugly. So, I decided to get this. And also, this chest piece, you can leave it on there, but I choose to leave it off when he's in carrier mode, because it's easier to fit more vehicles on there. And he comes with a nice gun, and also, you can take that gun and plug it into White Optimus Prime. And he can hold it either ways, or yeah, when he's in Ultra Magnus City Commander mode. And then he comes with big fists. So yeah, that's what he comes with. So, to get down to the ultimate transformation, I'm just going to take his fists off because we don't need those. Set them off to the side. And we'll take him here. What you want to do is you want to fold down his feet. Just leave his legs like that. Keep his head up. Fold in his arms. Just transform his arms pretty much is all you want to do, and his toes. So you have him in this kind of mode, and I'll set him back here. So you come to this thing, and what you want to do is you want to detach these missile launchers, which do not shoot. They did a long time ago, but on mine they don't. Not too mad about that. What you want to do first is rotate these up, and then you can split them right here, and then they also tabbed in up here. I'll have to raise my camera eventually, so I'll just raise my camera real quick. Okay, so I've got my camera raised, and we're ready to go again. So, as I said, they were connected at 2 points, here and here. You just split them apart. And then you can kind of rotate this thing like so. Fold these in, these tabs, and then rotate this up, and there's a red tab right here. I don't know if you can see that, but then there's a hole up in here that just slots right into. You might be able to see that in there, but yeah, it just does that. Same over there. And now what you want to do with his arms is they extend at 2 points right here and right here. Just like that. And you'll hear it click. So, where's my camera again? Same thing on the other arm. You just push it up, push this up, and then they also tab in back here. Just a click. You might be able to hear that. And so you pretty much have the base mode done. Oh wait. This piece, which was also the piece that held the trailer onto the cab, will serve as a cod piece. So there you have that. And then you can take this blue piece and just plug it on here. It slides right on. Just like that. And then we can plug on his fists. Big honking fists. So they just plug in just like that. And they stay pretty stiffly. So that's pretty much the base. Except for the rocket launchers, you could put them on too. So that's pretty much the armor all done for him. Except for one thing. I'll raise my camera here because you might want to be able to see his head. So taking this around, there's 2 pegs back here. I don't know how well you can see that, but they're right there. And they held the cod piece on the back here. And so there are 2 holes right here in the headlights. And so they just plug in just like that right here. And it stays on very securely, and then you can just put his legs back. So basically he's just hanging on to the armor back there. But turning it around, you can see now that he has a really small head. And so to fix that, you can take this and just put it right on top. And there you have Ultra Magnus, all transformed and in his robot mode. Or parts formed, however you want to look at it. And so you can take his gun here and just plug it right in. It stays very nicely. And there you have him. And I think in this mode, he looks just superb. I mean, for a G1 toy, you have to admit, this thing is so epic. It is, I don't know, it looks just like G1 Ultra Magnus in the cartoon. I think that's what they were aiming for. And, I don't know, it's really massive. So, actually, speaking of massive, for a size comparison, I'll bring in G1 Perceptor. See how they look together? That's a pretty good scale, I think. Right there. That's about how tall they were next to each other in the movie. So, taking him off to the side. Here he is with G1 Ratchet. Not a very good scale, but it's G1, and scale didn't matter. So, and plus, they never saw each other anyway. So, because Ratchet died. Still can't believe they killed Ratchet. Still can't believe it. So, you know, whatever. Speaking of death, here he is with G1 Prowl, whose death was the most brutal out of all of them on the shuttle. Ugh, that gave me scars. Anyway, again, not a very good scale. He's about the same height as Ratchet, but, yeah. Fairly decent. And lastly, here he is with G1 Hot Rod. They were together. Fairly decent scale. I'll put them closer. That's about how big they should be next to each other. And then Rodimus should be like that, but yeah. They're all G1 toys, so it doesn't matter. But, yeah. Very good toy. Highly recommended. So, for the articulation, his head does not move, unless if you can count that as articulation. His shoulders do rotate 360 degrees on heavy ratchets. Very heavy ratchets. Except this kind of bumps that, so you can kind of turn this out so it works more. And speaking of elbow, it rotates at the elbow, it bends at the elbow, at even tighter ratchets. And I guess you could say he rotates, or swivels at the wrist. Nothing on the legs. His legs are bricks. Very, very, very stiff. They don't move at all. Don't try to move them. They will break. Just saying. So, yeah. Articulation didn't matter to these guys back then. I think that's about it, actually. So, again, this is G1 Ultra Magnus. I highly recommend picking him up. Actually, I fully recommend picking him up. Pick him up now. I will give you a link in the description for a reissue, but if you want to get an official, or like a 1986 figure, then you're going to have to go searching on like eBay or something. But if you want a reissue, I'll put it in the link in the description. So, again, this is Fubaduge. I want to thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe. Check out our Facebook page. Check out some of our stop motion videos and some of my other reviews. And check out the Lazy Eyebrow Reviewer. He's really cool. Shout out to that dude. And also check out Shockwave 514. So, again, I want to thank you for tuning in. Keep playing, guys.